This is the Google Pixel 9a, and it's Google's brand new mid-range device, and it's undergone a little bit of a redesign to bring it more in line with the rest of the Google Pixel 9 series. And that redesign, I'm not 100% sure how I feel about it just yet, but it does give the A series a little bit more of an identity, and spec-wise, this is really where a mid-range phone should be. Google are keeping the price at $499, but there is one big change here which could make this a battery king. And we have to start with the design, because gone is the camera housing from the back of the phone, and it now has this flat dual camera design, which Google said is inspired by water droplets. But to me, it just looks a little bit unfinished, almost like they wanted to add a camera housing, but then just didn't have time, so a kind of this will do type of thing. And maybe it's just because I'm used to seeing a camera housing on the back of a phone, so not seeing one is maybe just a little bit odd at first. On the plus side, it does lie flat on a table now, so there is that. Now let's talk about cameras, and the Pixel 9a has two of them. So there's a main 48 megapixel f1.7 lens, and then you have an ultra wide which is f2.2. So not any huge changes really from the Pixel 8a last year, but there is a brand new software change, and this is called macro focus. And it's not entirely new because we've seen this on the Pixel 9 series this year, but what happens here is that the Pixel 9a is going to use the main lens, and it's going to use AI to automatically detect when it is close enough to a subject to enter that macro focus mode. And because it's using that main lens, it means you're going to get a lot more better detail on the macro than when most cameras will use the ultra wide lens, and also you can actually record in 4K using macro focus, so that's really nice. I am always a little bit disappointed though when these budget phones have an ultra wide lens, because I'd much rather a zoom lens, especially if we can only have one secondary camera. However, Google has said that you can do up to 8 times super res zoom with this, so that should give you much better results when zooming in. Of course, not optical quality, but decent. And of course, this isn't new because again, we've seen this on all the Pixel devices. And you are going to get a ton of AI features coming to the Pixel 9a that we've seen on the regular Pixel 9 series. So things like Add Me, Reimagine, and Audio Magic Eraser will all be on the Pixel 9a. And if you have a Gemini Advanced subscription, what you can do is share what you're seeing with your camera if you're talking to Gemini live. Although don't expect to get an extended free trial subscription for Advanced with the Pixel 9a, which is a big downgrade from the Pixel 9 series, which if you remember gave us 12 months of Gemini Advanced for no extra cost, but you're not going to be getting that with the Pixel 9a. So in terms of design and software features, this is going to look a lot like the Pixel 9, which I think is a really good thing. And the next good thing is the colors, because there's 4 that are coming with the Pixel 9a, and I really like these. You get Iris, which is new, Peony, which we've seen before, and of course the classic Porcelain and Obsidian, and you get to pick from 128 gigs or 256 gigs as well. And when you turn that phone around, it might be a little bit hard to see, but the display is a little bit bigger than the 8a last year. The actual display is now 6.3 inches, which is 0.2 of an inch bigger than last year's 8a, and the same display size as the regular Pixel 9, but the bezels are a little bit chunky in classic A series style. It is also brighter as well though, so at 2700 nits, because last year's was just 2000 nits, and you're going to get 120 Hz refresh rate, which I think is really nice to see on a phone that costs $499. And another nice small upgrade is it's upgraded to IP68 now over last year's IP67 rating, and it still has Class 3 Face Unlock to unlock all those banking apps. The Tensor G4 is going to be powering the Pixel 9a, which Google has told us is the exact same Tensor G4 chip that is powering the Pixel 9 and the Pixel 9 Pro. However, there was evidence before the Pixel 9a was released that it would be having a slightly weaker modem, which would mean that actually the Tensor G4 is not quite the same, but it's something that we need to put through some benchmarks, and we can tell you a little bit more in our full review in a couple of weeks' time. But what makes the Pixel 9a stand out this year over any other A series device is that it has the biggest battery ever in a Pixel phone. Google have packed this with a 5100 mAh battery, and according to them, you can get over 30 hours on a single charge, which if true is really impressive. And people who are going to be picking up this phone care about 2 things: cameras, which Google has already done a great job in, and battery life. So if they can make battery life better, then they might just be on to a winner here. Google also said that in extreme battery saving mode, this phone can last up to 100 hours on a single charge, which again is impressive, but I'm more interested to see whether the phone can actually hit the 30 hours on a single charge, because that is what most people are going to be using the phone for. So if it can hit the 30 hours, that's really impressive. If it can hit the 100 hours, then that is a really nice added bonus. There are a few disappointing things, of course, with the Pixel 9a. So it only starts with 128 gigs of storage, which I just don't think any phone should be starting with 128 gigs of storage. They're having the optical fingerprint reader still, instead of switching to the ultrasonic fingerprint reader, which the Pixel 9 series had. And then you have a look at charging. It's 23 watts. I mean, that is really slow. And then if you want to wirelessly charge your phone, it's only 7.5 watts, which is even worse. But you can excuse a little bit of this just because of the price tag and it being an A series phone. And so far, this looks like it could be one of the better A series phones that we've seen in a while. Google keeping the A series under $500 is fantastic because it's hitting all of the right notes here, and it makes it really enticing, especially if you don't want to go and buy the Pixel 9 series, because the Pixel 9a gives you almost the exact same experience, especially for a couple of $100 less. So this is actually a good move by Google. Let me know your thoughts though on the Pixel 9a. Would this tempt you to purchase this one over the regular Pixel 9, especially since you get a lot of the features that the Pixel 9 already has? Let me know in the comments below, and make sure you subscribe before you head off as well. And if you do that, then I'll see you in the next video.